The memory I have of history when I was growing up in school is sadly that it was really boring. So today, let's talk about things that can make teaching history a lot more fun in our homeschool. Today, I'm really excited to participate in a homeschool show and tell. It's a collaboration video series with Abby from Rooted in Rest and Jessica from The Waldock Way. I'm sure you've heard of both of them. I've been watching their videos for years and have been given so much insight and practical tips on how to improve our homeschool experience. And so I'll leave the link to the playlist down below and you can discover new homeschool creators and find more content to inspire your homeschool. Today's topic is one that I'm really excited about because I love teaching history in homeschool. And yes, I mentioned that it used to be my least favorite subject back when I was in school, but I feel like as homeschoolers, we're able to reclaim our education and shape and influence our children's education to make it come alive and personalize things and just add in a lot of different things that can make it more engaging and interesting and fun. So one of the ways is by adding in board games, and you'd be surprised how many board games there are based on history, and there are games that are catering towards world history and American history, different cycles of time periods that you can pull different kind of games that are collaborative or competitive or more memory-based, things that cater to different age ranges. A company that's great at this is Underdog Games. We have a couple of their games. We recently just picked up Trekking Through History, and that has strategic components for competitive play, but also has fun facts that take you throughout history, and that has been a really helpful game to play and just kind of brings it to life. For the younger ages, we also enjoy the Guess in 10 games. They're really compact. Those are great for travel. Another resource that has been really helpful in making history fun is Yellow Spot Sun. I highly recommend you check them out. They have so many great art history courses that are video based. She has a lot of great courses that are geared towards cycles in history. So when we studied ancient history, we paired it with architects of the ancient world. And last year we did medieval history, and she had a course called Kindly Kingdoms that was perfect for that. It teaches facts about that period in history, but also walks you through some new art techniques that go well with it, and you're creating artwork that's based on that time period. This year we're using Drawing Americana because we're doing American history. If you follow her schedule as suggested, it can take you through probably, I think it's a quarter or maybe a term of the school year, but we tend to use it once a week and adapt it to our own schedule, so it takes us through pretty much the full year. Another fun resource has been subscription boxes. And one of our favorites that we've used for history/geography was the Atlas crates from KiwiCo. Each box will be delivered and it's based on one country, and there's usually like 2 crafts and a recipe and cards that come with it with more fun facts. Every craft that you make has like a description and why it's special to that country, and it's been really fun. We paired that with beautiful feats around the world with picture book study, and while you can't pick the country that you receive, we would just save the boxes and pull the country in as we studied that country with our curriculum. Another box that I've seen floating around that we have not used is Universal Yum. That is a food box subscription and looks so fun. That's one that I've always wished that I subscribed to, but I never got a chance to before we moved out of studying each country. If I could go back in time, I would want to get it because I know that my kids would just, anything with food makes it more fun and memorable. Another thing that I try to prioritize is researching different documentaries and YouTube videos. For screen time in our homeschool, I know there's a big wide variety of preferences, but for us, I do try to keep our screen time as purposeful as possible, especially during the week. So whatever resources for documentaries or streaming or even borrowing from the library that you have access to, it is great to do research on what would be helpful to supplement the topic of history you're studying. We found one recently. We were reading the Book of Marvels last year, and we found a site that offered videos for each lesson, which was so great. Reading in the book and there's some photos, but I think watching the video of them building certain structures, famous monuments, that was probably the most memorable thing. Along the same lines, our subscription to World Watch News video current event subscription has been really helpful, just 10 minutes a day, and they do reference things from history, and those are things that my kids really commit to memory. And just to add some general best practices that have helped history maintain its interest and keep it engaging for my kids, my whole family, aside from the supplements and resources, has been curating our book list to living books that are interesting, that are story driven, the books that reference dates and events that are true to history but aren't heavy on that, where it's just like a fact book. That has been really helpful. We also practice doing narrations, oral and written narrations, which I talk a lot about on my Instagram at Juicebox Homeschool. But the practice of narration has been helpful not only in language arts skills, but in retention, in just their retelling of what we just read, of illustrating scenes that were described in a book and writing a paragraph on it. So high quality living books, practicing of narration, and also keeping lessons short. I know that when it's really fun and your kids are asking for one more chapter, it's engaging and they want to keep going. It is very tempting to appease them and, okay, we'll read another chapter. You love it so much. But I think what's been helpful to me is saying, we'll have to wait till the next time. That has just kind of kept their appetite going, kept them hungry for more. So take it as encouragement when they want another chapter, when they want to do another activity. My kids right now are begging to do this Viking history art project that I've been promising them, but we just have to put it off because we're not there yet. I love that excitement, but also it's great to keep it going, keep those lessons short and sweet, and the fact that they want more is an encouragement to what you're doing. And lastly, I just want to leave you with some of my favorite curriculum that I think does this well, that makes history fun and come to life and brings in hands-on projects and is great for the different stages of history. One of my favorites for the younger years in making history fun is the Peaceful Press. We've gone through the Precious People for ancient history as well as the Kind Kingdom for medieval history. Both of those have proved really helpful in bringing history to life, and both have book suggestions that are really rich and plentiful. There's no way we could get through all the books, but we went through as many as we could from the library, and that was really engaging. There's also hands-on projects they suggest as well as recipes. We've also really enjoyed Beautiful Feats Around the World with Picture Books. That's a geography curriculum that has some history elements as well, and that was full of projects. I have a blog post that I can link that has details of our experience with book 1 and 2. So fun. Whatever you can do to make history fun in the early years, I think really carries over into their perception of history in middle school and later in high school. And I just want to give an honorable mention to one that I have not gone through, but I have purchased other curriculum from this company, and I trust that Lindsay from the Little School of Smith's curriculum is so fun. We've done the space unit, and it was the most hands-on fun thing that we did as a family. We also included our cousins in that. I have a video that I can show you of how fun those lessons are, but she also creates some history curriculum that I feel like she puts a lot of thought into the projects and makes sure that your kids will remember these things for a long time. And Lindsay has little kids of her own, and so I trust that her projects have been tested and are so fun just based on our own experience with her space unit. And lastly, for curriculum for the older years, or just for all ages, I have 4 that I really have enjoyed and have experience with. The first one is Mystery of History, and that is the first history curriculum that I ever used when I homeschooled just one child. To this day, she still remembers a lot of the things we did for Egyptian history. And the cool thing about Mystery of History is they have projects for the younger years, the middle years, and the later years. And so we did only the younger years for her. We wrapped her little brother up like a mummy. We mummified some of her stuffed animals, and it was just such a fun way to get started. I love that she still remembers these things, and I think it shaped the way she views history now. Another one that does a great job with all ages of history is Beautiful Feet Books. I mentioned that before, but I like that they have guides for elementary, they have guides for middle and high school. And we are currently using Early American History 4th through 6th grade. And the book list is great. The projects they suggest are great. They have recipes, hands-on projects, they have map work, they have links to documentaries and art projects that we can add in. So there's just so much that for us, we have to pick and choose what we can fit in, what we want to do, which is great. I just like all the options there. The other 2 that we've had a really great experience with are not as heavy on the fun factor, but I don't know if it's just that the fun was kind of already built up and the interest was there leading up to it. But we have also really enjoyed A Gentle Feast and Simply Charlotte Mason for history. and both of those provided really rich book lists that were interesting to all my kids. We didn't do as many projects in those years, but it was still a subject that we all looked forward to. We practiced narrations, and I have no complaints of our year in history with those two choices. So do you have any tips for making history fun in your homeschool? I would love to hear it in the comments below, and make sure you check out the playlist that I've linked to see other ideas from other homeschoolers on how to make history more engaging and interesting. And don't forget to subscribe before you go. Thank you so much for watching today.